Hey everyone, Mah-Dry-Bread here. Pokemon Fire Red with only one Pikachu was much more brutal than I was ready for. Let's follow that up with a creative one. Today's the day that we figure out would I be able to beat Pokemon Emerald without learning any new moves? When I say no new moves, what I mean is that we can't use any moves in battle except for the starting ones of whatever Pokemon we're using. So if Torchic only has Scratch and Growl, it's all we can ever use, even if we brought it all the way to level 100. Like always, I'm writing the script as I go through with the challenge, so this part is being written before I've started. Everyone comment down below and guess if I can win or not. I'm pretty sure that I can win, but I'm really gonna have to study up on what we can catch and where. Let's explain the rules. I'm not allowed to use any moves that my Pokemon didn't have when I caught it. If it has empty move slots, then I can't stop it from learning those moves as it levels, but we won't be using any of those new moves in combat. I can learn HMs outside of combat, but I can't use them in battle. No glitches or exploits, no items in battle, only Pokeballs, held items, and items outside of combat are allowed. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more. Let's do this. No universal randomizer necessary this run, so let's get right into it. For my starter, I picked Torchic. It doesn't matter too much what starter we pick, since it likely won't be kept for long, seeing as none of them really start with good moves. Nothing eventful happens right away at the start, so let's skip ahead to when we finally get access to Pokeballs. So the first gym of the game is the Rock Gym, so the first thing I want to do is see if I can get my hands on any water or grass moves. First, I catch Wingull since it starts with Water Gun and Growl, then I go ahead and catch a Taillow so that I have a flying move, even if I don't really need it yet. He's got Peck, Growl, and Focus Energy. Oh, by the way, there might not be many nicknames this run, partly because I don't know who I'm keeping, and partly because I'm terrible at coming up with nicknames. That's when we run into an interesting problem. The Geodudes in the Rock Gym are all one-shots, but Roxanne's Nosepass is only Rock type, so it doesn't take all that much damage from Water Gun, and she has 2 potions and an Oran Berry to last a long time. Not only that, but we have all Flying types, and Nosepass can wreck us with a Rock Tomb. The only other Pokemon I can think of would be a Shroomish for Absorb, but that would just be too weak, so I guess we have to grind a little. For grinding here, I fight the trainers in the north mostly. Honestly, I don't think this is going to be too hard. We just need to run lucky enough that we can get a few more Growls in and maybe crit a Water Gun if we're really lucky. Wingull isn't a long-term keeper, so it sucks to grind him, but hey, gotta do what you gotta do. A couple levels later, and I start my strategy of using Torchic and Taillow to Growl to let Wingull last a little longer at the end, just to end up critting for an easy win. Well, I guess I shouldn't complain. Now, I thought I was actually going to have an easy time in the fighting gym thanks to having Peck on Taillow, but we actually lost pretty badly. We hardly got past Machop, and Makahita finished us off easily. Maybe if I go do the cave first for a couple levels. While we're in there, we catch our own Makahita. His moves are Tackle, Focus Energy, Sand Attack, and Arm Thrust. Mostly not great, but it gets us our first fighting move. After finishing and clearing the last of the trainers we can reach, I took another shot at the fighting gym. It took a few very tense attempts, but thanks to a little bit of luck with lucky move choices, we managed to peck our way through the fight. Next is the rival fight under Cycling Road, and thankfully now that Taillow has evolved into Swellow, we had a pretty easy time. Sure, we're still just using Peck, but May also isn't that good of a trainer, so we won. Not looking forward to the Electric Gym, though. By the time we get there, I've grinded up our Makahita to the point that he's a Hirayama, and believe it or not, on our very first attempt, we got lucky enough with Arm Thrusts to actually beat the Electric Gym. That really surprised me. I thought that it would be way more brutal. Well, it's time to go catch some more Pokemon then. Now that we can use Rock Smash outside of battle, I smashed rocks over and over until we found a Geodude that was at least level 16. That way, she'd start with Magnitude. Here's our moves: Magnitude, Rock Throw, Mud Sport, and Defense Curl. Now, most of that is pretty garbage, but Magnitude could win us the Fire Gym. It's hard to say for sure. It's a pretty unreliable move, and Flannery uses ground moves as well, so Geodude could just get one shot. I'll make sure to evolve it by then, since it's only 5 levels away. By the time we got to Maxie, we had already evolved Geodude, and Hariyama has gotten pretty strong, so no real issues. Speaking of, we also had no real issues with the Fire Gym. I was skeptical that Water Gun would get me so far into the fight, but it got us all the way to Torkoal. We ended up going to war after that, when it tore through most of my team, until it had crippled its own special attack and couldn't handle Hirayama. With that done, we get the Go Goggles, and then go get to the desert, so I went ahead and caught Baltoy. It's got Mud Slap, Psybeam, Rock Tomb, and Self-Destruct. I don't even know if we're going to use this for sure, but the type coverage is decent. On my way through the desert, I took the Root Fossil. I knew that if I didn't say what I took, you'd all ask. Actually, now that I think about it, everyone ask anyway. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. And no, before you ask, we're not actually going to use this. Its starting moves just aren't any good. After that is the normal gym, but Hirayama took care of the whole thing on his own easily, especially since we had Sand Attack and Focus Energy against Slacking, so we don't have to fall for counter. Now that we have access to the good rod, I fish until I get a Carvana that's at least level 22 so that we have Crunch. I don't know if this will be a keeper or not, but we need a strong dark move for the Psychic Gym later in the run. It sucks that its special attack is not that great though. Crunch is still a special move in Gen 3. Normally, I don't bother talking about the Weather Institute since there's not much going on here, but we are given a cast form. Unfortunately, it doesn't know Weather Ball yet, so I'm not really that interested. Just thought I'd bring it up because we do get a Mystic Water off of this, and we'll need it later. Right outside is the last required rival fight, and it was about as easy as it always is. We don't really have perfect moves for this, but our random team of misfits still handled it just fine. Next up is the Flying Gym. I tried this one a few times, but our weird level mismatched team just can't pull out the win on this one. The best thing we have to attack with is Rock Throw, and they've got water and grass moves, so I should probably just go catch an electric type. Over at New Moville, I found a level 26 Magnemite. It's important that it's level 26 because that's when it learns Spark, so that gives us one solid electric move. Looks like we have Spark, Sonic Boom, Thunder Wave, and Supersonic. Honestly, one of the most useful movesets on the whole team. I'll have to grind it up a little bit, then bring it to the gym. After way more grinding than I was expecting, I managed to get Magnemite, who's now a Magneton, to pretty much win the fight for us with Thunder Wave. We did still have to switch tons to deal with each individual Pokemon, but really the core of the strategy is just to paralyze them with Magneton, let the proper Pokemon handle the fight, and save Magneton till the very end when he can just spark down Pelipper. We pretty much have to do it this way since her Altaria has Earthquake, so we can't just use Magneton for the full battle. With that done, we have lots of traveling to do, so I take my chance at the Magma base to catch a level 30 Torkoal. It has to be level 30 because that way it starts with Flamethrower. It's also got Body Slam, Protect, and Fire Spin. It's not a great addition to the team, and Fire type isn't super strong in Gen 3, but it's our first fire move, so maybe we'll use it. The second Maxi fight was a little closer, but still a pretty simple first try. I find we rarely have really good counters for what we're fighting by this point in the run, but we usually have a couple Pokemon that can handle most situations decently enough to get through major fights. After that, we go back to catch a Tropius since we need a grass move for later. It's important that our Tropius is under level 27, that way we will have Growth instead of Whirlwind. Growth and Razor Leaf might save us in this run. The next gym is the Psychic Gym, and we gave it a try, but they absolutely demolished us. They've got even better moves and many more levels. It's time to go grind up Caravana until he can compete a bit. Even after getting him all the way to level 37 and evolving it though, we're still having a pretty brutal time. I've tried this fight 5 more times with mildly different strategies, but we just don't hit very hard, and Magneton tends to go down early from Earthquake. There really aren't any better dark types I can get my hands on that have decent moves, so I guess I need to grind more. During the grind, I make sure to pick up a few new additions to the team since we have a chance now. First, we catch a Spheal so that we have a few new ice moves on the team. This will probably be required to beat the Dragon Elite 4 member. Then I fish with a Super Rod to get a level 43 Wailmer, and since it's over level 41, we have the super powerful move Water Spout. I could see this guy being our new strongest member of our team. After leveling it up once to evolve it, here's its stats. This could beat the gym for us. Rest and Water Spout is pretty cool. It still ends up taking a few tries, and we had to grind Sharpedo more, but we did end up getting a pretty clean win after putting on the Mystic Water on Wailord for just a little more damage. I'm sure if our levels weren't so bad, it would go better, but we just don't have great grinding locations. Archie was super easy as usual, especially since this time we did have electric types on the team, so it's straight onto the water gym. It really wasn't that bad though. This was a first try, and although we had a very close call with Kingdra, we pulled out a solid win. Wally was pretty easy like usual, other than an incredibly long and dumb battle with Roselia, as I made a series of blunders before realizing that Magneton probably is my best choice. It was still an easy first try. Well, in Victory Road, I made sure to catch a Golbat with Air Cutter, Wing Attack, Confuse Ray, and Bite. Right away, I threw a Soothe Bell on it. I'm not sure I'll get this thing to evolve before we finish the run, but I'm gonna throw some vitamins on it and give it a try. This thing evolves by friendship, so we'll see if we can get it there. We also have to train that Spheal up from earlier a ton now, because there's no way we're getting past the Dragon Trainer Drake without it. This grind is pretty slow and awful, but I have a good feeling we can put together a team that counters this Elite Four pretty well. Once I got the team to the levels that I'm mostly happy with, I rode around a bunch to get a bit more friendship on Golbat, constantly checking in at the place in Verdant Turf where you can check your friendship to see if he could evolve, then we just topped off his level for a Crobat. So here's our team's moves before the Elite Four. It took forever to level them up, but I'm feeling pretty confident going into the Elite Four. I've at least vaguely got an answer for each major typing, so let's hope that's enough. Make your final guesses on if we can win this or not. Let's do this. First is Dark Trainer Sydney. Although we had an answer for everything and it was reasonably simple on the first try, I was switching Pokemon constantly just to handle him. His moveset is so weird and full of effects. It wasn't that bad though. Second is Ghost Trainer Phoebe. This is what Sharpedo was pretty much trained for, and although he didn't last till the very end of the fight, we still had almost our whole team left when we finished her off, so it was another easy first try. Third is Ice Trainer Glacia. This one was mostly just spamming Spark and arm thrusts until her team went down. They could hit decently hard, but they just didn't have any type coverage. Fourth is Dragon Trainer Drake. Naturally, we just beat most of his team with Ice Ball, since that's basically Ice-type rollout, and it completely demolished him. Finally, the Pokemon Champion, and this one took tons of tries. First is Wailord, who is an easy two-shot, thanks to him just using Rain Dance. Second is Wanderonix, who was an easy one-shot with Spark, but that's the end of the easy matchups. Third is Whiscash, and we don't have anything great for it, so I instead used Wailord, who uses a full health water spout while it's raining to take him to yellow health, but they use Amnesia for special defense and then a full restore for health. Shortly after, they switched to Ludicolo, so we switched to Crobat since his Giga Drain does almost nothing to him. After a few air cutters, he went down and we switched back to Magneton as Melodic came out. Now, we had lost many runs to Melodic because of just how tanky and strong it is, but this time we paralyzed it right away and then started hitting Spark. We got super lucky and he missed quite a few moves from paralysis before finally going down in spite of Recover, just because he never used a full restore. As Whiscash came out, we tried to brute force it with Wailord, but he used full restores on it. It's not raining, and Earthquake did a lot of damage to us. We got lucky that Water Pulse confused him because he ended up hitting himself twice and then using another full restore. Eventually, Wailord went down and we sent out Hariyama to brute force it. We did take a Hyper Beam in the process, but Whiscash went down. Last is Tentacruel, and he's a beast, so I just spammed Spark right away hoping that he would be out of full restores, but he wasn't, so he outlasted us, even with a very lucky paralysis off Spark. Thankfully, he was finally out of full restore, so when Crobat came out, he finished it off. With that win, we get in the Hall of Fame and win the run, but you know it's not over yet. We can't end this run until we've at least tried the post-game fight with Stephen Stone. I am basically out of time this week to keep working on this run, so I really can't afford to grind for this, unfortunately, but I'm willing to give it at least 10 attempts. We'll have to ditch Sharpedo for one of our HM guys to actually get to the fight, but honestly, he wouldn't have helped us much in the fight anyway. Let's do this. Now, I'm sure this doesn't surprise you at all, but even after 10 tries, we never even got close. But here was our best try. Credilli totally shuts us down, and that's if we're lucky enough to even get that far into the fight, which only happened twice. Because I make these challenge videos every single week, that means I'm basically on a 1 week time limit for them, and I flat out run out of time to grind. Hall of Fame means we win the run, but it would have been nice if we had an extra day to grind for this one. That was a crazy run. As difficult as these no new move runs are to study for, they're really cool to play. I hope you guys like that run. For next Saturday's Pokemon Challenge, I'll be trying my hand at Pokemon Red with only Voltorb. As always, I'm looking forward to your suggestions in the comments, in the challenge request section of my Discord channel, and on Twitter. Subscribe, ring the bell, stay tuned. If you guys want to see me do more challenges like this, please let me know in the comments or on Twitter. I can always use more ideas from you guys on what I should do next. Also, check out the playlist in the description if you want to watch all the Pokemon challenges that I've already uploaded. If you guys want to see more Pokemon stuff from me, my friend WhatGeek and I have done randomizer playthroughs of Heart Gold and Soul Silver, Black and White, Red and Blue, and now Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire over on his channel, linked in the description. You can also watch myself, WhatAGeek, and Goosit playing Pokemon here on my channel. We've done Pokemon Stadium, Pokemon X, and now we're on my first time playing Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Blue Rescue Team. Also, come to my Twitch TV streams and tell me that this video sent you. It's always cool to hear how you found the channel. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and until next time, have a nice day.